live, going live, and you are looking live. It's Sold Out Giant Stadium, where today the 15-0 New York Giants will be taking on the 0-15 Green Bay Packers. Why the Green Bay Packers own 15? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all? Anybody? Thank you so much. Sorry I'm about 7 minutes late. I tried to go live about 5 minutes ago, but it just wasn't going live. So I don't know how to reboot it or whatever. And so I'm back here trying to go about 30 minutes as usual. Anybody has anything to say, just please put it in the chat box. I check up on the chat box every so often. And once again, anybody watching me right now, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I greatly appreciate it. Or anybody wants to replay of this, once again, thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. You guys absolutely rock. Well, the Giants, it's like synonymous, Giants and injuries. It's like peanut butter and jelly. Giants and injuries. Spaghetti and meatballs. Giants and injuries. You kind of, it goes together. It's, synonymous. But they got a little bit of good news. Okay, on the injury front, they got a boatload. I mean, unfortunately, Aaron Robinson, he had to go on the IR. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. So, I mean, they had a little bit of that, but according to Brian Dable in his news conference, all right, there seemed to be some more good news than bad news on the injury front. So that's a positive. That's something you don't usually want up hearing, right? Now, the Giants is from a Giants Wire. Okay, they returned to practice on the field on Wednesday ahead of their Week 5 game against the Packers in London. But much of the team was limping. Hard to believe, I know. It's become a yearly trend for the Giants. I'm going to go over the yearly trend, okay, in a little bit here, right? Injuries are again the story. Yes, they are. This time around, eyes were on the quarterbacks, wide receivers, and the defensive line. Oh, my God. Luckily for Big Blue, there seemed to be more good news than bad news. Like quarterback Daniel Jones, defensive lineman Leonard Williams. Oh, man, if we can get him back, that would be huge. I'm not saying we're gonna wind up winning the game because of him or anything like that, but I mean, if we can get him in there, man, that would be so wonderful. Really, really would. All right. Also, my goodness. Wide receivers Kadarius Toney and Wan'Dale Robinson all participated on at least a limited basis. Now, that certainly does not mean they're going to be playing in the game on Sunday. But, I mean, to get Kadarius Toney on the field, I mean, for at least a limited basis, until he comes up with another injury, okay, which is going to happen. It will happen. Yes, it will. All right. But, I mean, it's just very promising, especially because, we've got Sterling Shepard. Obviously his season's over with, but Kenny Golladay, he won't be playing. So, I mean, if we don't have, it's going to be very, very difficult. I mean, if we got Slayton, James, Sills, I mean, as our wide receivers, means we're going to have to try to pound it with the running game and hit some passes to the tight ends when applicable. Right, because I mean, we had some jumbo sets in there, where we had multiple tight ends on the field, and a lot of that winds up, maybe fake the ball to Saquon. Got to get a good fake in there, right? And the tight ends in there blocking, and one of them peels out into the flat or whatever. A lot of seemed with the Bears anyway. A lot of their eyes were in the backfield on Saquon. All right, so somebody could maybe peel out into the flat. Right. And maybe dump it off. But I mean, any type of like long distance passing game the Giants are going to have this weekend is going to be pretty much non-existent. I mean, if we can get somebody on the field that's going to be, we get like a Wan'Dale or maybe Kadarius Toney on the field. I mean, just dump it off and just let them do what they do. If we have any big plays this week, it's probably going to be a Saquon run. Right. And even if Daniel Jones gets, goes, if he plays, if he sneaks out on a nice run, I mean, I don't know how far he's going to go because he's got his ankle. So we'll have to wait and see. All right. But however, Tyrod Taylor and Julian Love remain in the concussion protocol. Yeah. So Tyrod, I doubt it. Julian, it seemed like what I'm hearing is kind of like Julian might wind up coming back sooner than Tyrod. Okay. Giants Wednesday injury report is as follows. Okay. Did not participate. Kenny Golladay. So what Dable seems to say is that Golladay won't be playing in the game this Sunday. Tyrod Taylor, Julian Love, Cordell Flott with his calf, Azeez Ojulari with his calf, Richie James with an ankle. Says another wide receiver. Henry Mondeau with his ankle. Okay, limited participants. Okay, we got Daniel Jones with his ankle, Kadarius Toney with his hamstring, Wan'Dale Robinson with his knee, Leonard Williams with his knee, Evan Neal with his neck, Fabian Moreau, which is to be a shame because he's been doing a very good job for us. He's had an issue with his foot. Nick McLeod with a hamstring. All right, so those guys were limited. All right, so we'll have to just wind up waiting and see, what winds up happening. Still got a few days to go. All right. But I mean, the injuries, unbelievable. Now, they got another thing from the New York Post. Daniel Jones practices with the Giants, in a promising injury sign. Okay. Now, he's always going to say the right things. Yeah, I feel good. Things are getting better, this, that, and the other thing. But, it's just when you have a hard time protecting the quarterback, he's kind of like a sitting duck. Remember the game when we played against the Cardinals and we were home and Daniel Jones, he was injured and he tried to tough it out and all. And I think the Cardinals sacked him like 8 or 9 times and we got totally annihilated. But Daniel Jones, our pass blocking was horrible. But Daniel Jones was just sitting back. He was just like a wounded duck, a wounded antelope back there. And the Lions were coming to feast on him because he couldn't move. Hopefully that's not the way it's going to wind up being this week against the Packers. All right. But in the Post here, it says the Giants appear to have some good news regarding the starting quarterback. 3 days after suffering ankle sprain during the team's victory, quarterback Daniel Jones practiced on Wednesday. Head coach Brian Dable said Jones would practice some, but the Athletic reported that he participated in the entire practice, open to the media, and moved well. Okay, that's cool. There's a video here. It says Daniel Jones went through all of media viewing portion of today's practice, did both individual stuff and team drills. He's moving well. That's good. Thank goodness. And today we got we got Thursday, we got Friday, we got Saturday, and it's early game. Sunday, 9:30 here. So he's got 3.5 days. So I mean, obviously he's not going to be fully healed, but if he's in practice and moving well, hopefully another 3 days. Whew. Hopefully he'll be moving even better. Boy, I'll tell you what, our bye week cannot get here fast enough. If we make it that far. Goodness. The Giants had several quarterbacks in the building Tuesday as part of their workout. A.J. McCarron, former Giants starter Jake Fromm. All right, however, they ended up not signing any of them, which some took as a positive sign that Jones was on the mend. Okay. Now that Jones was able to log a practice, his arrow seems to be pointing up for Sunday's game against the Packers in London. Okay, well, that's good. All right. Let's see here. Jones was forced to leave last weekend's game against the Bears. Obviously, we know all this here. Jones ended up returning to the game, but his status for Week 5 remained up in the air. But so, I mean, with the Giants headed to London later this week, the fact that Jones was able to get some practice time in on this side of the pond is surely encouraging news. So hopefully, because I mean, the next 2 games we have are going to be very, very tough. Very tough, without question. Because we got we're playing 2 very good teams. We got the Packers. Then we got to come back home. We're going to play the Ravens. So, I mean, chances are, we're going to need to score some points. The Ravens are very, very difficult to, control. Lamar Jackson, period. The guys are just an absolute freak. I mean, what that guy can do is just simply amazing. So we're going to need to score some points. I mean, the Packers have not been like a scoring juggernaut, so to speak, this year. But we always know with Aaron Rodgers, they can certainly put up some points. But, I mean, the Giants are going to need to put up some points. I mean, I can't see us holding the Packers to 14 points. I can't see the Giants winning 17-14. Would that be unbelievable? Yeah. But with the injuries the Giants have, it's going to be very, very difficult. I mean, I certainly can't see holding the Packers or the Ravens under 20 points. We're going to need to score 24. I'm thinking, try to get like 24 points, 28 points or so to try to win some of these games, these next two games. So all the help we can get, the better, right? Then, of course, we had, which was unbelievable. I mean, Nick Gates returns to practice. Now, what he has is he has 21 days, of practice. And the Giants have 21 days, basically 3 weeks. And then they get to see what they want to do with him. Okay. If they put him back, like I guess on the IR or whatever, he's out for the rest of the season. Okay. So either he comes and he's on the team, or he's out for the rest of the season. Now, I don't know how he's doing or how he's going to wind up doing, but if we think he's good enough, hey, awesome. It's going to be a little rusty. Yeah, I'm sure he will be and everything. But the guy's got a heart of a champion, heart of a lion. Don't ever count the guy out. But if they don't wind up and they put him back on the shelf and he misses this whole season, that might be something best for him. Maybe, obviously he can work on his strength, his conditioning, whatever he's got to do to get better. So when next season rolls around, he'll be ready to go. Okay. And he'll be hopefully somebody, fighting for a starting job, or if not, I mean, I don't know what we're going to do with Feliciano, Bredesen, Glowinski, we got him for probably, we got to sign this year and probably at least another year. I think 2 years probably. Maybe we can get rid of him maybe after next year or something like that. But, Nick Gates can be some quality backup. I mean, like say if Evan Neal got hurt, we could put him in a tackle. Okay. If we don't have Feliciano, we know we can use him at center, right? And he played guard too. That's where he was at when he got injured last year. Okay. So, but I mean, he'd be some unbelievable, backup, depth. All right. Then if we can ever actually get Shane Lemieux on the field without, him actually getting hurt, that wouldn't be bad either. But I mean, just for him to come back from being injured, this is going into week 5. He got injured in the second game last season. For him to come back from that injury in a little over a year, freaking phenomenal. I'm not saying that he's making the team or not like that, but just for him to be on the field practicing after a little over a year, it's just unbelievable. It just shows you what kind of guy, determination he's got. He just, man, there was an interview, the guys were in the locker room interviewing him. The guy, I just want to play football. What I mean? It was just awesome being on the field, just playing football. You know what I mean? So don't count him out. All right. Let's see. 3. Here we got to count. We got a countdown on. Okay. This is from Big Blue View. 384 days after suffering a catastrophic injury that nearly cost him his left leg. Unbelievable. Nick Gates returned to practice for the Giants on Wednesday, and Gates did that in style. The 26-year-old former team captain and starting center was asked by the coaching staff to break down the team huddle at the end of the walkthrough on Wednesday morning. Much respect to really anybody that comes back from injuries, but his injuries were significant. Oh, my God. Oh, unbelievable. All the surgeries, he had 7 surgeries, okay? All the surgeries, and he's had nothing but a positive mindset since he's been here. The guys were hooting and hollering when he was breaking them down. You root for guys like that. It's a tough industry when in terms of physical things that can happen, and just a lot of respect for him and what he's done. And and he's proud of the young man. Now that Gates has been designated to return from the PUP list, okay, Giants have 21 days to decide whether Gates is physically ready to be added to the 53-man roster, okay, which, I mean, they can certainly use some good depth on the offensive line, okay, or whether they will leave him sidelined for the entire 2022 season. There's no, well, we'll put him back on IR for 4 more games and then we'll bring him back. No, it's either one or the other. Either you got 3 weeks, right? You either add him to the roster or he's out for the season. Now, what I don't know is that if he looks really good, like say after a week, and they're like, yeah, he's good enough. I mean, I'm not sure if they have to wait the entire 21 days before they can add him on there, or if they can just add him on at any time. But but they have 21 days, and if he's still practicing, he's not on the roster, they have to make the decision then and there. It's either put him on the roster or they got to shelf him for the rest of the season. So Gates joined the Giants as an undrafted free agent in 2018. He was the team's starting center in 2020. In week 2 of last season, obviously, playing after Shane Lemieux got injured, right? Because remember, Lemieux got injured. He got injured early in training camp, but he played first quarter against the Broncos last year. Okay, couldn't take, I guess, anymore. He came out. Then I guess we slid Billy Price in at center, moved Gates over to the left guard, and that's when Gates, took over. He played the rest of the game, I believe, against the I'll have to look that up, against the Broncos. But then week 2 against the Washington football team at the time, that's when he started at the left guard, because Lemieux was out for the season. And that's when Gates, he got like bull rush. He got pushed back. He wasn't having a phenomenal, really, a great night. I don't know if he just needs more time at practice, at being a guard or whatever. But anyway, but he was like it seemed like he was being bull rushed back, and that's when he wound up getting injured. And, so, but, so got Feliciano's currently the Giants starting center, but if he's on a 1-year contract and perhaps not part of the long-term plans because he's a little bit older, right? Nick Gates is obviously a little bit younger. We'll have to wind up waiting and see, because Nick Gates can play center. He may not be an all-pro, but is he a decent, gutsy center? Yep. Yes, he is. Oh, absolutely. So we'll have to wind up waiting and see. And then the left guard situation has been a bit of a revolving door this year so far. So, I mean, I'll have to wait. If we can ever get Shane Lemieux, if his toe ever, and if he can ever actually get on the field, and it's unbelievable. It simply is unbelievable. I don't know. He played so many snaps for the Ducks in college, and he comes to the pros and he can't even get on the field. I mean, he had the 1 year. Didn't play a lot of snaps, though, and he struggled, okay? But then we were looking forward to him, like last year, to be the left guard. And then we were looking for possibly this year to be the left guard. And so maybe if we're lucky, maybe somewhere along the line, his toe will heal up and he'll actually be able to play some football this year. It would be simply amazing, wouldn't it? I mean, it's hard to believe. I mean, it's like next year is going to be his 4th year of his contract. And you turn around and it's like, it is? Shane Lemieux? Yeah, I mean, 4 next year, 4 years. Yeah, he hasn't played. Well, it's because he hasn't played. He hasn't played last year. He hasn't played it. He played a little bit his first year, and these next 2 he hasn't played. Oh my goodness! All right, but then we got, this is one thing here. I wanted to bring this up here. They got things called Man Games Lost. Okay. It's a subscription. You gotta pay for it. All right. But they go over like they got different metrics here and all and everything. It's pretty interesting. All right. They got some of the things. I'm learning this stuff as we go along. What they got is they got like, you can miss some games, and they got, the teams have their own, all have their own bubble. Well, the bigger the bubble, the worse it is. That means you lost guys, but the magnitude, like you lost your starting quarterback or a couple, maybe, I don't know, your cornerback, something like really important guys or something like that, and your bubbles get big. Okay. So if your bubble is small, that means maybe you lost some guys or something like that here or there, but maybe you lost, I don't know, whatever, a left guard or a defensive tackle or something, guys that maybe are a little easier to replace, okay? But of course, so far this season, all right, I'm going to go back to 2010, all right? Now, there's two interesting things here I want to point out as we go back. Really, two really interesting things, okay? And I'm going to point them out as we go along. But from this year, going back to 2010, I saw, let me count here. I'm a little stupid here. I said 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20. The last 13 seasons, there was only 1 year where the Giants were not in the top 10 as far as injuries, man games lost. 13 seasons, there was only 1 year where we were not in the top 10. And there was something special about that season. And it's not 2011 either, okay? All right, so we're going to go back here. All right, so far this year, Baltimore has missed 59 games. They're number 1. Seattle Seahawks, they're number 2 at 58. Giants are number 4. 51 man games lost, total injured and health and all that, right? All right, so we lost 51. They got other metrics here like lost AV and lost WAV and did not play, suspended, whatever. And so they got total games played, did not play. So the Giants got, I got to figure this stuff out, but the Giants are number 4, 51 games lost so far in four games played. All right. So the Giants are number 4. Now, one of the reasons why the Eagles, okay, they're a good team. I can't take nothing away from them. But however, one of the reasons why the Eagles are 4-0 and looking decent and all that and everything is because they have like no injuries. Okay. The Giants are number 4. The Eagles are, what do they got here? The Eagles are, I think, 4th from the bottom. Yeah, the Eagles are 4th. The Eagles are number 29. Eagles have only missed 21 games. And their bubble is really, really small. It means like the guys they've lost might be a left guard or somebody, guys that, might be replaceable, not that valuable. Okay. So the Giants bubble is much bigger than the Eagles. And the Eagles, the Giants have lost 30 more man games than the Eagles have already. We've only played 4 games already. Right. As I said, you go to any team. All right, the Galladay's injured, Shepard's injured. We don't even know Wan'Dale Robinson and Kadarius Toney are going to play. Like our top 4 wide receivers. You go to any team out there, take their top 4 wide receivers. Okay, sorry, give them their 5th, 6th, and 7th best wide receivers, and see how many games they wind up winning. See if they wind up winning the Super Bowl. See if Aaron Rodgers wins the Super Bowl. See if Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl. See if Patrick Mahomes. See if anybody wins the Super Bowl. All right, you're not gonna. All right. But that's the Giants this year. They're 2022 so far. We're number 4. Okay, so we go back to 2021, obviously, and we know that season was obviously a complete disaster. All right, the Giants were number 1, 356. But the same thing, if you'll notice, last year, Giants, Baltimore, and Tennessee were the top 3 teams. This year so far, Giants, Baltimore, and Tennessee are the top 3. I think Seattle's in there too. Is that right? I think it is. 3 of the top 4. So, I mean, something's wrong with Baltimore, Tennessee, and the Giants. I mean, the past couple of years, the injuries are just unbelievable. But last year, the Giants were number 1. All right. Then we go to 2020. They were down a little bit. Judge did a decent job when he first came in. Okay, I guess as far as the soft tissue injuries, didn't pan out for the whole season, but we did a better job. We were only number 8. Okay, now let's see here. What do we got? 207. Okay, so we went from last year was what did I say, like 350 was last year. Well, the year before that was 207. So that was a lot. We were a lot healthier. Okay. But I mean, we also, we didn't have Saquon there, right? And Daniel Jones was injured. Okay. And so but we were a lot healthier, but we were still in the top 10. We were number 8. Okay. Then we're going to go to 2019. We're going to go to the Shermer season here. Okay. Let's see what we got here. I know we were, once again, we were, up there as well. Let's see. The Giants were number 5. 256 games we lost. Okay, we're number 5. That was 2019. 2018, we have Shermer's first season, right? 18-19, 2021. Yep. So Shermer's first season, the Giants were, let's see, we were number 9. 203 games lost, but we're still in the top 10 once again. Let's go to 17. It's Ben McAdoo. That was his season. That was that debacle of a season. That was a season Eli lost his streak. We got rid of Reese. We got rid of McAdoo. Got rid of everybody, right? That was that horrible, horrible season. Giants were number 2 as far as injuries. 388 games the Giants lost due to injuries. 388 games in 2017. 2016. Now, here's the season. Here's one of the seasons, okay? The only season, all right, 2016, that the Giants were not in the top 10 from 2019 and this year. Last 13 seasons, the only season the Giants were not in the top 10 was 2016. Okay. I gotta, let's see, scroll down here. What do we got here? The Giants were, I think it was 18. Is that what it was? Let me see here. Nope. We were 19. What do we got? 19. 180 games. We lost 180. All right. But what happened in 2016? Stay healthy. What happens? We went to the playoffs. Okay. Even with Ben McAdoo as our coach. 2015. I'm going to go from 2015 down to 2010 and then just wrap this video up here. But so 2015, all right, the Giants were number 3, 227 games missed. 2014, and there's one more interesting thing I'm going to just point out here. But we got 2014. We're still the rest of the time. The time we're in the top 10. What the hell we at? We're number 6. 225 games lost in 2014, 2013. Giants, once again, were in the top 10. I'm not exactly sure how many games it was. I'll find out here in a second. 2013. Giants, number 6, 214 games, but we were number 6. 2012. Once again, we were in the top 10. Let's see where we're at. Top 10. The Giants were number 10. 202 games lost. Once again, top 10. All right, and we got 2011. Obviously, the year we won the Super Bowl. Now, this is something I really found interesting. Just goes to show you how special that season was, all right? And how thankful we are that we wound up winning the Super Bowl and all of that stuff. How wonderful, wonderful that season was. We were number 2. 216 games lost. We were the second most team as far as games missed. Number 2. And we still wound up winning the Super Bowl. Okay, so that's how special that season was. Very, very special indeed. 2011. Okay, and then I'm just going to wrap this up. 2010. So in the last 13 seasons, including 2010, the Giants were in the top 10 every year except for 1 year. 12 of the last 13 years, the Giants were in the top 10 as far as games missed. Okay, so 2010, the Giants were number 4, 212 games missed. All right. So the last 13 seasons, okay, the Giants were in the top 10 except for 1 year as far as injuries. Absolutely a man. Once again, this year we're number 4, and we're keeping up. Right? What do we got here? Gary, we're gonna shock the Packers. Boy, I hope so, man. Well, you know, we shocked the Titans. Let me tell you what. You know, it helps. I mean, the one thing is like, you know, Flot's in a boot. Aaron Robinson, he's on IR. You're going up against Aaron Rodgers. You need to have your cornerbacks and your safeties and all and everything. If we can get Leonard Williams back, right? Help clog up the middle, get some pressure up the middle on Aaron Rodgers. Got to keep him in the pocket, though. Can't let the guy run out. Cannot let the guy get wide. Can't let him do that. He'll kill you, right? Got to cave on. Hopefully cave on with his calf or whoever's taking his spot. Azeez with his calf. Hopefully he can play. But if he's not, whoever's taking Azeez's position, all right, Azeez or whoever, and Kayvon, got to keep him in the pocket. Keep him in, get sexy Dexter, and hopefully Leo the line, get some pressure up the middle. Keep him can't let him go wide. Cannot let the guy go wide. Got to keep him in the pocket. That'll certainly help, right? Our strong point on offense has been running the ball. So we've been doing a good job with that. And we got our running backs. Daniel Jones, even if he has a bad ankle, can turn around and hand the ball off. Our offensive line is okay. All right. We got our tight ends who do some blocking. The Packers have a very bad run defense. Okay. So once again, it may not look sexy early on. Okay. But if we keep pounding the rock, and if our defense can keep us in the game when the second half rolls around, if we're still in the game, keep pounding the rock. That'll wear on the Packers defense, and then we might start being able to take control of the game. But we got to stay in the game. Can't get down by 3. Can't get down 21-3 halfway through the third quarter. Hey, let's establish the run. Let's have the clock running. We'll establish the run. Okay, and maybe by the 17th quarter, maybe we'll start catching. That's not going to happen, right? Defense is going to have to keep us in the game. Also, I think we're the only team in the NFL who does not have an interception through 4 weeks. That's got to change. We got to get some turnovers. Whatever it takes. We got to get some turnovers. It will be huge. Okay. But Gary, thank you. Thank you, my man. Greatly appreciate the comment. I'm sure I want the Giants to win. I'm not going to pick them to win, but if things go right, if we get some turnovers, if we can control, we keep Aaron Rodgers in the pocket. If Leo Line comes back and controls their running game, right? Maybe we can keep them down to a decent amount of point wise, and then if we can get the running game going, anything goes. But we can certainly use an interception or two. But going into this game, asking our defense to come up, well, we need an interception or two. I mean, against Aaron Rodgers, that's not an easy task at all. But he's thrown them. It's possible. That's why you play the games. You have no idea at all, what's going to wind up happening. That's why you play the games. Well, said as always, it's been almost 33 minutes. Anybody at all watched any of this? Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys absolutely rock. Or anybody spends any time at all watching a replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys rock. You guys stay safe out there. And as always, go Giants! Woo!